Hello. I'm Bruce Harris.
Hi, I'm Kasia Gołębiewska.
Hi, I'm Miguel Mora, and welcome to Cheques Play.
Welcome. Let's do it.
Everything is good. We're looking good.
Once again.
Everybody's looking fabulous today.
Once again. Especially you, Bruce.
Oh, thank you so much. Boy, you're so nice. So, listen, this is where the magic happens. Right here today. And wow, I'm excited because we have Theo Smith here from Las Vegas, from the Cosmopolitan.
That's great.
Yeah. Teddy's a great guy. I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time, so it'll be great to see him again and have a wonderful chat with him today.
Yeah, remember Casa. So, Theo I consider him my best friend and still very, very close because we worked together for so long and family friends. My kids called him Mr. Theo, not Uncle Theo, but
Mr. Theo.
Mr. Theo. Well, in our culture, we called the adults, we called Mr. and Miss, and we use the first name because I'm Mr. Bruce.
Where did you work with him? Where did you work?
At the Showboat in Atlantic City, and also at the Trump's Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we work at the Castle, Showboat. Yeah, those were the two places that I worked with him also.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. But I wanted to bring up, we were having a discussion yesterday and we were talking about reaching certain audiences, and we know, and we've been getting feedback, and we are realizing that our podcasts are really super long, and of course we can compress them by the editing, but it's very difficult for us because the content is so good. But somebody came up with the great idea that we should break them up into the different part series. And we have a new editor that we're looking at. First of all, lightning is getting ready to strike for us because we've been working hard. We're on day 75 because we started this on February the 11th. Okay. We did 10 weeks, basically. We did 10 podcasts. Nikki Ballas was the 10th episode. So we're going to go at it a different way. So that's going to be hopefully some up and coming nice changes based on your guys' feedback, because we really want to do a good job.
That's right, Bruce. In a sense, when we got together to do this, we came up with the idea of doing something where we could share our experiences and the guest experiences in the casino industry with the audience. So we decided to go ahead and do it. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. As Bruce said, we're not professionals. We're just regular people in the gaming industry who have had a lot of experiences. And it's nice to bring that out to the new generation of people up and coming in the gaming industry. So that's what we set out to do: have fun, enjoy ourselves, and contribute with something to the new generation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great, to like from my side as being totally new in the casino industry, to learn, amazing things that I wouldn't even, predict that are happening there. all those great stories. And yes, it's great also to meet those fabulous guests that we are having at each episode.
Anyway, so listen, we're going to see Theo Smith. He's ready to come on with us. He is the casino manager at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Theo Smith, guys. Theo Smith, a great young man here. Let's see. And let's see if he's ready.
Not that young as you.
Not as young as me. Because I'm so young and too pretty and I'm so young.
There he is.
Theo.
Hi, Theo.
Hey, how
Hello.
you doing?
Eddie, my man, what's happening, brother?
Nothing, man. How you doing, Miguel?
Yeah, as time goes by, you look more and more like Billy D. Williams.
He always did.
Oh, wow. Listen to me. I got my dog out there.
We always
You have
call.
Hey, but he doesn't have his Colt 45 with him.
Later.
Theo, you have a great background.
Well, thank you. That's view of Lake Mead.
It's an outdoor. We are doing an outdoor episode. today.
in the middle of the desert in Nevada.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where we are in the middle of the desert.
Mhm.
Is Lake Mead still drying up, Theo? Because
Yeah.
when we
Yes,
got
it
there, if you look to the right side, I don't know, stage left or stage right of Theo. Theo, tap your left shoulder. Okay, that's his left side. All that area back there was dry. Used to be water.
Yeah.
Casa.
Mhm.
When we got there, it was full. In fact, Theo has a beautiful, beautiful luxury yacht. It's about 25-foot yacht.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony,
Old
that's
as dirt.
it's a yacht to me. But the dock used to be in that area back there. And what's interesting is that the marina rather was there, and as the lake recedes, because the river from the Colorado River is not feeding in, and also less rain because of the droughts, it's been receding over the years. By what kind of rate, Theo, is it drying
Oh
up?
man, this is last year and this year is probably the worst it's been. They say now they just made some kind of agreement that Lake Mead will get less water from all the other 6 or 7 states that receive water. So it's going to go down even further now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think
Yeah,
somewhere down the road, this is probably going to be a problem for Las Vegas. I don't know how they'll solve that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's where the water supply comes in. That's like where we sprinkle our, water our grass. In fact, they gave incentives, if I remember, if we had what we called a desert landscape where we didn't have grass, we would
Didn't
take
have to water.
no
Yeah.
water. Yeah, we're going
And
to only water on
they're
certain
still
days.
actually doing that. They're giving more of more of a cents per yardage that you take out, even more so. And some of them are mandating now that these big companies that have what do you call it, medium grounds, but they don't really need that. They turn that into desert landscaping now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, some people would take the gravel and paint it green, a nice color green, with some nice rocks, but they look nice if they really, put the time in. But all that area, as I was saying, to his left, where he just touched his shoulder, was all water, and the marina would be there with all the boats. I don't know how many boats would be in the marina, maybe 50 or so boats. And they would as the water receded, they would take the whole marina and move it with all the boats still tied in.
Wow.
So when we would go back Theo and I would go out to the boat, sometimes it would be moved. Say, okay, where is it? Where's the marina?
They just did it again about 3 weeks ago. Actually, it was about a month ago. We went out there and they had just moved it back again about another 10, 15 feet.
Let's hope it gets better instead of worse.
Well, the only way it's going to get better is more snow, more rain from
Rain.
other
Mhm.
places. I mean, we don't need it here, but
Yeah.
we'll take the water as it evaporates. I mean, as it melts to come down. But I don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe they'll
Yeah,
come
that-
up with that. What do they call that? Desalination
Desalination, but that you have to bring it from the ocean.
from the ocean. Right?
The Israeli get more than 90% of their water straight from the ocean. They have the plants, they do the process, and they bring it inland. And it's a very simple process, but it takes money.
Yeah, that's
do
what I
it.
hear. It's expensive.
It's expensive. Yes. Yeah. But they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out in time. In the meantime, Teddy, what's going on in Las Vegas? I read that you guys are coming back up. Everything is moving. McCarran, well, not McCarran, it's now Reed International Airport is getting more flights. Everything is coming back to normality now. And the numbers are picking up tremendously also.
Yeah, it is, especially with the Raiders, and they have the Vegas Golden Knights hockey this weekend. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think today starts the NFL draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
My son Carl, who just arrived yesterday. He works for Rock Nation, Jay-Z's company.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's the digital manager, content manager of he does most of their marketing, whether it be motion video or digital graphics, and they have several athletes that are in the draft. Rock Nation is a compilation of music entertainers, fashion, sports agents, and so forth. So that's, you know, he's always somewhere. He told me the other day, we were talking about the podcast. He says, "Oh, Dad, I got to go. I'm getting ready to catch a plane to Las Vegas." And, you know, it's like he was there for the Super Bowl in California. So he's looking you up, actually.
Yeah, good. I'll be back to work in the morning.
I told him about your nephew too.
Yeah,
You know,
cool.
'cause
Thank you.
they're always looking for athletes, and, you know, so that they represent. But anyway, I was going to ask you, so how's Las Vegas? Because you've been there for how many years now, Theo?
2002.
20 year.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 23.
26.
26, yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
think,
yeah, we did like it. Now, now you're at the Cosmopolitan, since you opened it up, and it's been what, 10, 15 years there?
2010. So 11, coming up on 11 years, August.
Right.
August of 11 years.
And prior to that, we were down at Fitzgerald's downtown.
Yep. 10 years there.
And, you know, we were always being downtown. And for those listeners and viewers out there, here's how it sets up. This is probably one of the only states that is set up like this. When you come to Las Vegas and went into get into the casino business, you had to go downtown to work first before you got to the Strip.
Yep.
It's like you had before you got to work what other business, before you had to do major motion pictures, you had to do B-rated movies or something. I guess that you would call it, but you would break in downtown unless you were juiced in. You had somebody that you were connected with, or you paid a huge fee, like a $10,000 to $20,000 fee to somebody that you knew that could get you in. It worked that way, you know.
Some people paid that fee.
Yeah,
Many
actually,
times, yeah.
they when we worked downtown, they were offering us money to work downtown to get in at one time because it was tough to get a job. Remember?
Yeah.
So what do you find as the biggest difference from going downtown working than going to the Strip?
Clientele base is a little different. Money, minimum, maximum bet is different, of course.
Mhm.
You know, you if you're on the weekends, if you'd be lucky if you find a $25 table. Well, 25 would probably be the starting point. Strip downtown, you can still find some $10 tables down there. I don't think you find too many $5 now because the traffic has increased down there as well.
We're downtown.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, if you ever go into the Circuit Casino, I don't think you'll find anything less than 25, even when it's slow. They keep them games up high.
Yeah. Derek Stevens, he's a beast, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Boy. He came in and
Turn
did
things
what
around.
he did. Now he's the king of downtown.
And some years already in the casino business. Like, what brought you there?
And what brought me to Las Vegas?
To casino industry, like to work in this industry. It's pretty special. I mean, like, not everybody is meant to work in this.
You know, I
business.
started out, I was in Burlington County, which is right outside of Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base is where I graduated from. And I had a friend of mine that he's probably about a year or two older than me. He opened up Resorts original casino in Atlantic City. I think that was probably like around 76 or 77. Miguel, right? 76, 77?
The casinos open, well, actually it opened in
78.
79, Resorts
Yeah.
open.
No, I think it was before that because I know I had graduated already. And then this friend of mine kind of started coming back to our little neighborhood that we had. We had a little neighborhood park that we called the park, and everybody just met there like on the weekends, big family thing. And he was coming back every weekend. He had this brand new Mercedes P Green. I was like, man,
what are you doing?
He never had a car before he left.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He's the one that actually got me in the business. So he says, I'm working in Atlantic City as a dealer at Resorts. He says, come on down and, check me out. So drove down, which is probably about an hour and a half ride. And actually, when we got down there, if I recall, I know Resorts after 6 o'clock or something like that, you had to have a sports jacket.
Yes.
So I didn't have a sports jacket, but they would lend you one. So got in there and looked around, and it's like, wow, this is pretty exciting. I kind of liked it. And me and two other friends, he had an apartment, but he was staying with his girlfriend. So he said, hey, you guys can stay at my apartment. And I started out as a busboy at Harris Casino, and went to dealer school. And then I got hired as a dealer. Actually, it was at Playboy first, but that was back when they put a hiring freeze on. So I actually didn't get to work there. I started working there as a busboy instead again. And then got hired at the Tropicana. And here we are, 20-something years now. 20-something, I wish.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. It's like, wow. And, you know, you get into the business and you never really think, I don't think, you think you're going to make a career out of something like that. You know, IBM.
What made you? And what made you stay in this?
I liked it. I liked seeing people. I liked the different
money.
Casa, I don't want to like. Come on,
I know,
Casa.
but like.
Well, it was promotion after promotion. I did the right thing.
Some people might have, you know, also deep motive.
He liked to eat, right?
Yeah.
Eat food is good.
Yeah, it was just something you get into that you like. It wasn't hard work. You know, I had friends that were going to work and they were coming home with calluses from digging, you know, ditches from what's the gas company? PSE&G.
PSE&G, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, wow, I'm okay. I come in, you know, clean and uniform. And after you get promoted, you get to dress up, you know.
And money. In fact, do you like your life in Las Vegas? I mean, like, was there, apart from partying, gambling, and, you know, what do you do like after your work?
I come home most of the time. I was playing pool in the pool league for a little APA for pool league for. I was probably on that for about 6 or 7 years until COVID hit. Golf, boating, swimming, jet ski, you know, all those types of things.
Great. So like, well, because like from my perspective, I haven't been never in Las Vegas. I plan to go there, but for me, it's like, you know, it's like one big party there. Like, so like life here, I was imagining, oh my God, like it's a constant party.
Yeah. When you're not when you're like, working, not when you work there.
So it's seems like yes, you're running a normal life there.
Well, you know, it's interesting because when you think of it from your perspective, because you've never been here, most people, Las Vegas Strip, but Las Vegas is bigger than that. I mean, you know, people have to work in the casinos, but not everybody that lives here in Las Vegas works in a casino. They're supporting businesses that have careers. So a lot of people have careers that do not have anything to do with the casino. So, you know, there's a life outside of casino industry here, big life. People wouldn't even think it. You fly over, unless you really are kind of conscious of it. You think, you look down, you see the Strip, but what about all the houses around that go out for miles? You know, the casinos. Then we have beautiful churches here. I mean, there's life. It's life. It's like anywhere else.
And the churches don't have slot machines in them, like
like the gas stations, mini marts.
No?
Do.
The
supermarkets.
Really?
Yeah, you go into Albertsons or Smiths and play the slot machines. They don't have them in the Walgreens yet. Or Walmart.
Well, Theo, you have to, just to explain something to you, we'll have to be very detailed in the conversation. Walmart and so forth, or Walgreens, they're drugstores, and Albertsons is a grocery store, Casa.
Yes.
Okay. So those are they're everywhere. Even in the airport, there's slot machines. Everywhere. Even there's standalone places that just have a slot machine, like Dottie's or something, you know. Terrible Hertz is a gas station car wash, and they have slot machines, you know. So people, I would see people that when they go shopping, there's a little booth with slot machine. They're stuck in there, and you know, with their grocery cart sitting next to them full of groceries. This can't. Where's Imogene? Oh, she's at the grocery store. She's not shopping. She's been there for 3 or 4 hours. Let me go get her.
You'll find some of the older folks that really don't want to go down. You know, they'll just, you know, go in a Dottie's or, you know, Albertsons or something like that. You know, but of course, you know, we have the locals casinos too. Everything's not on the Strip. There's probably Oh, I'm going to guess about 10 casinos that are probably just like what they call locals casino that you don't even have to drive down on the strip to get to. And they cater to the people
To the locals.
who work.
The
You
stations.
got stations, South Point, Rampart, Sun Coast.
It's a big difference between Atlantic City, where we started, and Nevada. Atlantic City was more of a drive-in market at the beginning of it, and then it developed into also a flying-in market with junkets coming in. Junkets are trips that are put together by agents in different states or different cities, and they put a plane together and they bring players into the casino. So to me, when I first went to Las Vegas back in the early 90s to check it out when the Mirage opened, and I saw the way Las Vegas was growing and growing and growing, and I figured out right there and then, I said, if we don't do this in Atlantic City, it's going to die, or we're going to stay behind, because that was the resurgence of Las Vegas with the grand opening of the Mirage. And in Atlantic City, we were still opening places, but we weren't doing anything more than come in, gamble, and have dinner. That was it.
Yeah, summertown. Summertown. They had a season. May, what was it? May Memorial Day to Labor Day, and after that, it just
correct. So those differences that I noticed right there and then. Unfortunately, I didn't go there to work. I would go there for the fights. I would go there for business, look for customers, bring in customers. So when you got there the first time, Theo, you came actually from New Orleans or from someplace else, because you went from Atlantic City to New Orleans. Indiana.
And then to Las Vegas.
And then to Las Vegas. When you got there,
New Orleans to Indiana to Las Vegas.
When you got there, you could notice these differences. So what was it that hit you the hardest compared to the other markets that you were before?
Well, 24 hours mostly was one of the things, and the fact that there were so many choices of a casino that people went to, and you kind of think, wow, how does this support all this? Where did the people come from? One thing different. Other jurisdictions are more regulated than Las Vegas. Las Vegas is not really as regulated as some of the other places. But then again, New Orleans was kind of loose. New Orleans was kind of loose too, a little bit more regulated, because I believe as those places open, the people from New Jersey are the ones that put the minimal internal controls into place. But they started getting smart and saying, well, you know what, let's not make it too strict. Let's allow us to be able to do some things that we always wanted to do in Atlantic City or somewhere else. So let's not tie our hand. Let's make them ask us for more. Let's ask for less.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. In my mind, that was one of the things. I don't want to make Atlantic City look that bad, but I think the so strict regulations in Atlantic City actually tie down the hands of people who wanted to do more in Atlantic City, but you couldn't. So eventually they said, you know what, which is what Steve Wynn said, you know what, I can do it here. Let me go back to Las Vegas. And then he invested his money there, and the rest is history. Even Atlantic City now is a little bit more relaxed, but even then, to do something in Atlantic City, even today, you have to go through the loops of the regulations.
I'll tell you a big difference. Now you mention that. Remember, we had to have to be a supervisor, you had to have a license. Then to be a pit manager, you have a bigger license. $500. Then depending on where
the
investigation could go up to who knows what. Here in Vegas, you don't have to go anywhere. All you do is get a fingerprint.
Sheriff's card.
Take a picture, the $40, done.
Yeah, when I got my sheriff's card, it was like, at the time, I think it was $15.
Yeah, it's up to, I think it's about $40 now.
Yeah, that was like in 1950. What was that, Miguel?
No, in the 90s, mid 90s, I went there. I was working for, I was working for for Caesars at the time. One of the guys there said, "You want to get your sheriff's card?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And we went there. He allowed me to use his home address, and boom, I came out there with a sheriff's card.
Yeah.
It took me about an hour. They took my fingerprints. You have to wait for the fingerprints to come back, and then they give you the card. They take your picture and give you a card, and you walk out. I still have it somewhere here.
And now I think when back then, even when I came 20 years ago, there was probably only 2 or 3 places you could get fingerprinted that were certified fingerprinting places. Now they're all over it. Every neighborhood you go into, there's probably a listing they send you with our license when they send you a time your license up for your sheriff's card's up for renewal, and they send you a list of places you can go. That list is now probably 2-3 pages long.
Wow.
Fingerprinting. So they make it so convenient and easy for you to just go in. As long as you don't, even if you have a record, you probably don't even know until after they do an investigation. But I've never heard of anybody that had a license denied here yet.
You would have had to done something really, really bad
Really,
for them
really
to deny
bad.
your license. Yeah. So
Exactly.
that's what the being relaxed on the regulations and allowing people to work the way they were supposed to gives. Progress moves fast, moves really fast. To build the property in Atlantic City back in the day, it took you at least 2 years of development and permits and all that, and then 2 more years of building. So it took 4 years to get a property going. In Nevada, Steve Wynn went there when he left Atlantic City, and a couple of years later, he had the Mirage open.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I want to change up the subject for a minute, if you guys don't mind. Okay. We had a discussion, Theo, with another podcast, and this was an interesting point because it kind of relates to this a little bit, but it involves Kasha. Because that's why, and it's a good balance for us, because when we speak about the industry and when we had to break things down, well, there's a big portion of our listeners, well, huge, that we're trying to develop that don't know anything, and we want to get them more engaged and teach them. So by us teaching CASA is sort of an extension of those folks that don't know.
It's like an
anything.
educational thing as well.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So, but here's the thing. We were saying with this a podcast the other day that there is a perception of Casa's word is the casino industry being the industry of a bunch of taboo industry, because her friends don't like us. They don't like her talking to us because we're bad. I'm exaggerating to make a point. I'm exaggerating. But that's why I say, just to break their stones. I want to say break their balls.
You are mafia.
But I don't want to say break. I don't want to say break your balls. I want this is a clean show. But here's a point I want to make. Here's a point. They say that because they don't know. There's a property. There's a location near. It's in the southeast portion of France. I mean, Spain. I think near. Where's Tarragona? You know where Tarragona is?
Yeah.
Casa. That's near. Where's that? What's the coastal resort area? But anyway, Hard Rock has been looking to develop that huge casino property there for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let that place open up and create jobs and create opportunities for businesses to bring in revenue for the community and the surrounding community. Tourism. See what those friends that don't like, that are, oh, they're bad, they're mafia. See what they have to say then.
Yeah. You know what? Look at it like this. So you open a casino. What do you need? Uniforms. Mm-hmm. So then someone, the local tailor.
They have to be cleaned.
They got to be clean. So you have the cleaners. They have to provide food. So then you have
suppliers, food suppliers.
Suppliers that come in.
Wholesalers.
Supplies can be a lot of different things. I mean, just so much. When a lot of places open, they've opened and created opportunities for minorities, women, ethnic minorities, to make sure they get these contracts so they can share that. So it's not so the diversity element. That one person. So that's a plus.
Correct.
Because it stops the monopoly of people creating. Well, I'm going to give this to my nephew's son or my brother-in-law. It stops all that. And guess what? There's a lot of people that once you get there, and then, you always think of, well, why you work in a casino? Listen, I go to church every Sunday. Don't miss it. I don't miss a Sunday. And I'm not trying to bring religion into this, but they're good people as well. Not everybody that works in there. People, they come in as like, hey, listen, I have kids. How can I provide for my family? What's a good paying job? What's something that's convenient for the hours that I work? You know, dealers, they work an hour on, 20 minutes off. Places don't do that, and we get fed. It's free.
I know ministers that work credit, you know, administrators or worked in the cage or so forth. They were preachers on the weekend, you know. I mean, they're preachers, but in their theology, but they also took a job, you know, carrying change in the change booth or something. But so they have to construction workers because there's need some construction, right? There's the build out, there's roads, tax revenue, goes on and on and on and on and on. So bring some of your friends on to the podcast so we can have a conversation. So, you know.
So so like, but in fact, like, okay, it's like from the side of my friends, like I would ask you a question, like, how would you answer this? Like that's why it's taboo, kind of, the casino business for them, because it's related to drugs, it's related to addiction,
no, it's not.
you know, tragic stories of people. That's
movies.
why you know, that's why I want your answer from real life, from there, like how you perceive it, like from your side.
Listen, let's be realistic.
Because it's really like this, like people perceive casinos.
Drugs were around before the casinos got built. Okay. So that's not really the issue of what it brings. Yes, it may bring people to there because they think that there's money, or they can take their rent money and double it to buy the drugs. But that's going to happen in any business. That really doesn't stop anything. I think when you look at it overall, casinos create more good for people and that economic development than they do bad. Okay. People are going to do bad wherever you go. And
if it's set up correctly by the city fathers of the government, politicians, if it does what it's supposed to do, what it's intended to do, and with the trust of the people who have power, who are the decision makers, to do the right thing.
If they allocate the money in the right places, police officers, to make it safe on those casinos, depending on where they put it. Unfortunately, most casinos that are built here are always in bad neighborhoods. So therefore, the perception you have probably is created because of that. Okay, because those are the places where you want to spread the jobs. You know, the minimum wage type jobs that the richer folks don't need. The fortunate folks don't need those. So you try to do that to decrease the crime rate and the poverty rate around in those areas. Then they can afford a house, a better living. Before you know it, those people that got jobs that didn't have it, they're moving out into a better place to live, a better environment, better place for their children.
Everywhere where you got the casinos came in, Atlantic City, Las Vegas, Detroit, everywhere, you see a big influx of people coming to the area. And what does that create? It creates a lot of jobs, not only in the casinos, but supporting industries around it, like food industry, car dealerships, because casino people come in, you got a casino with 5,000 employees, for instance. Those people need housing. They're going to buy food. They're going to buy clothing. They're going to buy cars. They're going to buy gas. They're going to buy everything that goes on with life, and that is an economical boom for the area. So it's not only what you get with the taxes that the casino produce, but the jobs, the employees working there now pay taxes also.
Right.
And when they go to a store and buy goods, they pay sales tax also. So it is a chain that keeps trickling down of benefits for the state, the city, and the whole area, that it's got a great impact on what goes on in life in those areas. So when people say, oh, casinos are no good, this is no good, this is no good.
It's just one side of,
It's just one side. Maybe they say it, because, you know why they say it? Because they're not in the industry. They probably think they're not benefited by the industry, but I guarantee you that
maybe they have never been in a casino.
Somehow they're going to get a little piece.
You know what it is?
Out of there.
You know what it is also? And I just saw this the other day. People who have comments to say or whatever, because they're jealous. They're jealous.
Yeah.
They're jealous of you.
Yeah, just
They're jealous.
Your friend is an attorney. Says, so I get no benefits from the casino. Hell yeah, you do. Because the cases are going to develop. Even if you don't deal directly with casinos, one employee of the casino might have a car accident. It's going to come to you to give you a benefit. You're getting that benefit. If that employee wasn't there, you wouldn't get that case.
That's right.
Yeah. So
And then the attorney starts specializing in casino cases. Then before you know it, people feel that they were wronged by their employer because they didn't allow me to have Sunday off to go to church or whatever that may be. Now this lawyer becomes a casino only attorney. Now he's not taking those other cases.
Yeah.
That brings opportunity for someone else.
For another attorney.
So you got to think of it from a mindset of like, wow, okay, where did all these? It's easy for us to sit here and say this, Casa, because we've seen it in all the different jurisdictions that we moved to. It's like, wow, I know what this creates. You know?
Yeah, well, this gives a pretty different image of casino, like what what my friends are thinking. And I remember also like what Nikki said about the corporate responsibility and like how casinos also are creating the programs for local society. Not only they are creating jobs and people that are work there, but also they take care of the local society also. So it's great.
Yeah, we call that philanthropy. There's a lot of philanthropy with the casinos.
But how would you, philanthropy, but how would you, address this issue of addiction, that it creates addiction? Gambling is addictive, right? And like, I don't know, like people are also creating the image of casino based on the tragic stories of people that, I don't know, got addicted, they killed themselves, they lost their homes and etc.
So let me say this. First thing that the casinos must have in public view that everybody knows, the Gambling Anonymous hotline. Every casino employee is trained yearly.
Responsible gaming.
How to do responsible gaming, how to identify those people who may have the problem by listening to what they say, or a guy that comes in all the time, he starts saying, man, I just lost my rent money, I do this, and before you know it, then we're all trained on that. So that is one thing that they do. I don't think bars do that. I don't see a pamphlet at the bar when I come in that says, hey, listen, my man, if you drink too much, here's a line. I'm sure they have it. And I'm sure there are steps that bartenders put in place to identify someone that's been drinking too much. And I think human heart still says, hey, Fred, I see you in here every day lately. Is everything okay? Do you need some help? Those things also, because, when you employ others, there are a lot of people that still have a heart, despite what we see on the news every day, I still believe there's still good in society.
Yeah. Because of those. I was saying, that's a good point that you brought up, Casa. And because of those perceptions that we have to fight through, first of all, to get regulated, especially the new jurisdictions. Some of these jurisdictions have gone through over 25, 30 years, like say Florida, just to get in. And then when they came in, they were limited, only non-skilled games, card games and things like this. And so, but because of those perceptions, the casino industry overstates itself to make sure that, okay, if this was the guideline, we're going to make sure we do it better than what the guideline. We'll go above and beyond to see, like Theo just mentioned, the responsible gaming signs. The pamphlets are out there. They're in every pit. They're right there. And he has, Miguel, myself, Henry told you on his podcast, he takes a guy out and takes him for a walk and say, hey, listen, you need to take a break. Is everything okay? Whatever. Hey, I see a guy that's winning a lot. Hey, let me talk to you for a minute. I shouldn't be telling you this. I see an athlete that I just saw in the NFL draft, and I see him crying, hugging Roger Goodell because he just made his dream. He gets to Tampa. Well, I'm in Tampa, Florida. He arrives in